إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد صلاة دائمة مقبولة تعدي بها أنها التوجيه نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الأمين المكين الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين خوف أعظم بمن بيسر ساما مدد قبلة دي مدد كعبة إمام مدد قادریم نعرائے یا خوف اعظم زنم دم شیخ احمد رضا خان قطب عالم زنم سیدی یا مرشدی شاہ مصطفیٰ خان زندہ باد مسلک سرکار اعلیٰ اعلیٰ حضرت زندہ باد یا الہی مسلک احمد رضا خان زندہ باد حفظ ناموں سے رسالت کا جو ذمہ دار ہے سیدی یا مرشدی شاہ مصطفیٰ خان زندہ باد حامل فیض رضائے مصطفیٰ امداد کن صلی اللہ علیہ النبی الامی وآلہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم صلاة و سلام علیک یا سیدی یا سندی یا حبیبی یا طبیبی یا رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم وعلی آلک و اصحابک یا رحمت للعالمین. All praise is due to Almighty Allah. Durood and salams upon the most perfect, exalted and glorified of Allah's creation, Sayyiduna wa Maulana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. His blessings and salutations upon the Anbiya Ikram, Ahl Bayt Athar, Sahaba Ikram, Khulafa Rashideen, Tabi'een, Tabi' Tabi'een, A'immah Mujtahideen, Awliya Kamileen, and all those who will follow the path until the last day. We thank Almighty Allah through His infinite mercy and through the wasila of Rasul Akram, نور مجسم سرور قلب وسینہ تاجدار مدینہ فخر موجودات حضرت احمد مجتبی محمد المصطفى sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for granting us the opportunity to congregate to Salat al-Jum'ah and to prostrate in His most exalted court. Before continuing any further, let us all direct our thoughts and our hearts and our minds towards the holy and the sanctified court of the beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, and in doing so let us collectively recite the Durood Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Maulana Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina Maulana Muhammadin salatan daimatan maqbulatan tu'addi biha annaha at-tawjih. रोशनी चश्म से क्या काम अंधी आँख को, रोशनी चश्म से क्या काम अंधी आँख को, मोमिनों के चश्मे दिल में है उजाला गौस का, मोमिनों के चश्मे दिल में है उजाला गौस का. To the blind eye, of what use is the light of the lamp being? To the blind eye, of what use is the light of the lamp being? In the eyes of the believers' hearts, the light of the Ghaus is glowing. In the lights of the believers' hearts, the lamp of the Ghaus is glowing. Roshaniye chashm se kya kaam andhi aankh ko, roshaniye chashm se kya kaam andhi aankh ko, mominon ke chashm dil mein hai ujala Ghaus ka. Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah. We are in the month of the Gyarvi Sharif of Shahanshah Baghdad, Hazrat Sayyidina Shaykh Mahyuddin Abdul Qadir al-Jilani al-Baghdadi radiyallahu anhu, the personality who the entire world knows, identifies with and recognizes as Ghaus A'zam. That personality who ever since, actually even before he entered this world, hundreds of years even before he entered this world, His excellence was foretold by great personalities like HAZRAT Sayyiduna Junaid Baghdadi radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Approximately 200 years before he came into this dunya, Sarkar-e Ghaus Pak radiallahu anhu's coming was foretold by Sarkar Junaid Baghdadi radiallahu anhu. This is that personality whom Allah has blessed with this authority, that he says that if I am in the east and one who truly loves me is in the west, and if his waistband, his belt becomes loose, I will stretch my hand and protect his honor. This is Sayyidina Shaykh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani Baghdadi radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He is that personality who we all know is Imamul Awliya. The beloved Nabi, Huzur Akram Noori Mujassam Surur Qalb wa Sina Tajdar Madina sallallahu alayhi wa sallam blessed Sarkar-e Ghaus Pak radiallahu anhu with such immense blessings, with such abundant and plenty blessings, that he attained this maqam and the status of being the king of all the awliya Allah. And the king in this level, that Rasul Akram Noori Mujassam sallallahu alayhi wasallam is indeed Imamul Anbiya. There is no doubt that the beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the Imam of all the prophets, is the Imam of all the Anbiya. This is our Aqidah, right? That our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is Imamul Anbiya. And the Imamul Anbiya blessed Shaykh Abdul Qadir radiallahu anhu with such abundant blessings by the permission and by the leave of Almighty Allah, that Shaykh Abdul Qadir became Imamul Awliya. Okay? So if you want to really be successful in this zamana and in every zamana, and if you really want to be accepted in the court of Imamul Anbiya, then you should humble yourself at the court of Imamul Awliya. And that is why my and your Ala Hazrat Imam Ahle Sunnat Shah Imam Ahmad Raza Khan Fazl Barelvi radhiyallahu anhu says कि तेरी सरकार में लाता है रजा उसको शफी, तेरी सरकार में लाता है रजा उसको शफी जो मेरा खौफ है और लाडला बेटा तेरा. That Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Raza wishes for any of his blessed, any of his words, any of his invocations to be accepted, and if he goes to make the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam his wasila in the court of Allah, then he does not go directly to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He takes somebody who will mediate on his behalf, who will intercede on his behalf, and who he takes, teri sarkar mein lata hai raza usko shafi. He takes him, jo mera ghauf hai. Allah Hazrat says, who is my ghauf, but is your ladala beta, your beloved descendant. He is from your awlad, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah. The Ahl Sunnat from the beginning, right up to this day, ever since the zaman of Sarkar-e Ghaus Pak and before that, have always had a special and a very strong attachment to the awliya Allah, to the beloved servants of Allah. And why shouldn't there be an attachment to them? Why shouldn't there be an attachment to the awliya when Allah is saying in the Holy Quran, Ala inna awliya Allahi la khawfun alayhim wa lahum yahzanun. Allah is telling you in the Holy Quran that know, beware, become alert, that indeed the friends of Allah, they have no fear and they do not grieve. What does it mean? They do not have fear for anything in this dunya. They do not grieve for anything in this dunya, because they are pleased with the pleasure of Allah. They are always pleased with the pleasure of Allah. If it rains today, what do we do? It's too heavy rain. Hota ki nahi? If it's hot, too hot. If it's windy, too windy. But the awliya Allah, you will not hear this. You will not hear this. Because like Hazrat Bahlul Dana said, that I am pleased with whatever is the pleasure of my Rabb. If it is windy, it is because my Rabb made it windy. If it rains, it's because my Rabb caused it to rain. If it is hot, it is because my Rabb caused it to be hot. So whatever is the pleasure of my Rabb, whatever my Rabb wills, is what pleases them. And this is when you know that a banda has reached that maqam of wilayat. When he's pleased with the will of Allah. It's a long discussion. When he's pleased with the will of Allah. And we are always pleased with the will of Allah. But you must remember, people misunderstand some things. There is a misconception where they misunderstand taqdeer, destiny. If whatever happens is by the will of Allah, there is no doubt about it. But when any evil happens, you do not attribute it to Allah. Nothing happens without the leave of Allah. But when evil happens, you do not attribute it to Allah, you attribute it to the nafs. You attribute it to your own weakness. Allah wrote it because He knew you were going to do it. Not that He wrote it so you were forced to do it. When Allah wrote how long you live, it's going to happen. There are different types of qada, different types of destiny. No time to discuss it. But if somebody says, I killed somebody or I did this because Allah wrote it for me. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasul. Incorrect. Allah by His divine knowledge knows you will do it. He wrote it before you do it. It's not that His writing has made you majbur to do that there. It is your nafs. Allah knows before that you're going to do that thing. So remember, when there is evil, you do not say this is what Allah wanted. Everything is the will of Allah. But when it's evil, you attribute it to the nafs. You attribute it to the person who is evil. What is happening in Palestine? What is happening in Palestine? 75 years of zulm. 75 years of oppression. In less than 2 weeks, more than 4,500 people have been martyred, slaughtered, massacred. More than 4,500 people, as per the last information that I've seen, have been slaughtered and massacred. Of them, more than 1,000 are children. Of them, more than 1,000 are babies. What was their zulm? What wrong did those children do? In Islam, firstly, we do not at any time support killing of non-combatants, even in a battle. There is no such thing. And you do not support the killing of the innocent, especially women and children. Wherever that is being used on one end, it is not being used when it comes to Gaza. It is not being used when it comes to the Palestinians. To kill them is fine. To destroy their homes is fine. To wipe out an entire nation is fine. To starve them and to keep them thirsty is fine. To cut off their fuel and electricity is fine. But to do it in Ukraine is not allowed. These are double standards. These are double standards. There is only one difference. The difference is because those majority in Gaza are Muslims. Because they read the kalima La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You must remember, and I'm going to be very blunt about this. I'm going to be very blunt about this. Kisi ko acha lage na lage. People are saying, but how are they bombing and doing carpet bombing and collective punishment of the people and the Muslims of Gaza? How is it that the people of Gaza are being destroyed? How is it that they're being wiped out by the enemy of Islam, by the Zionists? Why is it that they don't have any dard? Why is it that they don't have any pity? Why is it that they don't have any mercy in them, that they are doing this to avenge what they say they are avenging, but killing thousands of people that have nothing to do with anything? Why are they doing this? And I must say, how do you expect kindness and compassion from a nation that killed so many of their own Anbiya? मेरा एक सवाल है. How do you know how many Anbiya the Bani Israel killed? They killed massive amount of Anbiya Ikram that came to them. Those that brought the message of Allah to them, unka fikr nahi kiya, inki fikr kahan karega? They didn't care about them. They didn't care about those who brought the message of Allah. Where are they going to care about these innocent lives that are there? It is something for us to think about. That this killing and being killing machines is in them. And always remember what the Quran says, this is Millatul Wahida. Millatul Wahida. That when the time comes, all of them will unite because the unity is against the deen of Allah. Are you not seeing it? Are we blind? We have to ask the question, where are the so-called Muslim countries? Where are the so-called Muslim countries at this time? Sharam hona chahiye. Shame on those who call themselves powers of Islamic world, and yet they are putting politics ahead of the lives of the Muslims. They should be ashamed. They are putting politics in place of the life of the Muslims. They are putting their so-called accords in place of the life of the Muslims. I want to say to those leaders, so-called, to the Muslim world, I must say that leave alone showing your face here. Yahan to chehre dikhane ke laik na rahe. Leave alone showing your face here. How will you show for your face to your Rabb in the Akhirat? What will you say in the hereafter? That on your hand also is the blood of the Muslims of Gaza. On the hands of them, those leaders who call themselves Muslim leaders, is also the blood of the Muslims of Gaza, because they are remaining silent. To make this statement and say that no, we just don't want any problems on both sides, we want peace. This is a statement everybody can make. Our country, which is not a Muslim country, has made a stronger statement than them. Yahan Musalman country nahi hai. They've made a stronger statement and tens of stronger statements. In log ki iman ka kya hal hai? People are speaking about Gaza, we are speaking about the Palestinian Muslims. But don't forget, don't go to bed any night without picking your hand to make dua for them. Don't go to bed any night without making dua for them. The Muslim Ummah is like one body. The Muslim Ummah is like one body. When one part of the body feels taklif, the entire body is in distress. We sit and we enjoy our best of meals. We're having fun and entertainment in our lives. But is our mind and our hearts really in Gaza? Is it really there amongst the Palestinians? It's something to think about. This topic, people do not like that it should be discussed in Masjid. And some of us do not want to talk about this because this will be the repercussion and this will be the repercussion. To hell with the repercussions. We have to say what we have to say. Otherwise there is no difference between us and those who are remaining silent at this time. We have to stand with those who are on haq. And the Muslims of Palestine are on haq. They are fighting for their own identity, yet they were thrown out of their own land in 1948. Go on to every map before 1948 and see if you find the word Israel anywhere. It's only Palestine. Came as beggars, came as refugees. The people of Palestine gave them place, and in the end they kicked them out. And that's why I've said this in the past and I'm saying it again. Palestine is not the backyard of the Zionists. Palestine is not the backyard of the Zionists, it is the home of the Muslims. It is the home of these people. We should keep this in our mind. And these words may sound very so-called harsh and strict, but it's a reality. It's time that we feel what they are feeling. Understand what they're going through. We go to sleep at night, you hear that somebody was killed in an accident or something happened to somebody, you are in taklif. Think about this. Hundreds of bombs falling in day and night. It is being said that approximately in Gaza, approximately one child is dying every 15 minutes. I want you to look at our own community and think what will happen if one child dies every 15 minutes in our house. Kya hal hoga? And still, where is the hamdardi? Where's the support and the compassion? We're scared to say that I support Palestine because my boss will be upset, or the company that I work for will be upset. Wallahu khairul razikin. Allah is the one who gives sustenance. Allah is the one who gives sustenance. When Allah gives sustenance to a worm inside a rock, and He gives sustenance to a little creature in the depth of the sea, indeed He will give sustenance to those who stand for the truth. Indeed. And whatever difficulties that they are going through, whether it's there and anywhere else, this is their test. This is their test. Allah grant them success in their test. Allah bless us. It is the month of Sarkar Azam radiallahu. Let me tell you something. Make a habit. If you don't remember, ask me, ask Abe Sharif, ask Maulana Ahmad Sabir, they'll tell you. Remember these words. Tufaile, HAZRAT, Dastagir, Dushman, Huezer. Learn this, read it 11 times every day, keeping the enemy of Islam in your mind. through the karam of Ghaus Pak, you will see what destruction will come. And today, before I finish, and we're keeping to the time, in the next minute or two, let us all get together and read this 11 times with the intention of the support of the Muslims of Gaza and the destruction of those who are trying to destroy Gaza. Let's read together. Tufaile, Hazrat Dastagir, Dushman Hue Zer. 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 Meaning, through the blessings and the power and the might of Hazrat Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani, may these enemies be destroyed. Allah keep us with Iman, let us keep the world with Iman. Those who are ill, Allah grant them shifa kamil, sehat ajil. Those that have passed away in Ahl Sunnah, Allah exalt them in Jannatul Na'im. Special dua for our brother Adil, the mother who passed away a few weeks ago. I was in Madinatul Munawwara when I heard about it. Our marhum Yaqub Bhai's wife, Yaqub Bhai was the first murid of Huzur Muhaddis Kabir in this country. Allah Ta'ala uनकी मग़फ़िरत फरमाए, जन्नतुल फ़िरदौस में आला मक़ाम अता फरमाए. Our Shaukat Bhai also, when I was not here, I heard he had passed away. Allah exalt him and make his maghfirat also. All others in the Ahl Sunnah that we know and do not know of. We make special dua again. We end with dua for the people of Gaza, for the Muslims of Gaza. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unko sabr ata farmaye. Allah ta'ala grant them strength in their bazu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defeat those who are trying to destroy the ummah. Allah keep us with iman, let us keep this world with iman. Wa ma'alayhi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أفضل ذكر لا إله إلا الله 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 لا إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلا الله 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 لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الله 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 لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا حي يا قيوم 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 لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا شيخ سيد عبد القادر الجيلاني شهر الله شهر الله شهر الله
पहले ही हजरत दस्तगीर दुश्मन हुए से